Welcome to the Boost tutorial part 3. So in part 3, we're going to be doing a React application through Boost, hosting it live on a URL that's visible by anyone, and updating it continuously without pulling it down or redeploying it. So let's get started. As we see, we are currently still in the same directory that we've been working in for the previous tutorial, and we have the same code boxes that we had before, tutorial 1, and I have it set as default. So that's all good to go. We're ready to work with our React application. So I'm going to use the npx tool to build a React application on my own device. npx create React app, and let's do it at React website. Cool. So npx is a tool by Node that allows me to set up essentially boilerplate for an npm React project. So you do need Node installed on your own machine. And speaking of which, we need to get Node installed on the remote machine because AWS EC2 instances, which is what hosts CodeBox, do not have Node on their own, so we need to manually install it. So let's open up a new terminal here. Get this out of the way. Okay. So in order to do a server-side setup of Node.js, what we need to do is type boost activate. Boost activate puts us into an SSH wrapper, meaning we're fully entering the remote system. And here we are. You can see that it's running home/Ubuntu. This is the Ubuntu code box. And up here you see tutorial. That's my own username. So as new users enter into the code box, they get their own files side by side at this level. And you'll see when I go into it, here are the files that I've been building so far. So this is the directory that's tied to my local file sync directory. And that's how Boost works underneath the hood. So that's pretty cool to know. What I'm going to do is follow these instructions here from Amazon AWS on how to set up Node.js on an Amazon EC2 instance. I'll include this link here up in the YouTube description. So we just copy 3 commands, it looks like. Run that. Cool. Take this command. Run that. And then lastly, this file here. Cool. So if I were to type node, I have a Node terminal ready to go. So Node.js is installed remotely. I could also do npm, check the version and see that we have 6.14.4. So Node and npm are both installed in the remote machine. So I type log out in order to leave. Now, after we have done all this, keep in mind that this install never needs to happen again. If another teammate were to jump onto this code box, npm and node will be available to them, to everyone in the code box. So install once, share it as much as you want. Cool. So back here, our npx process is done running. So again, we're back local, and here's that React website that we built. CD into that. And here's the boilerplate. You can check it out on our code editor. with the React website. And here we get package.json. There we go. So the stuff that you're used to seeing, go into src, app.js, basic React project. So now it's time to actually jump in and describe something I glossed over before, this boost ignore file. Whenever you do boost init, it drops a boost ignore file in there. And what this does is it actually controls which files are synchronized with the code box. For example, we have that bulk directory here. Bulk is for machine learning projects. Say you have a massive data set. You drop it into the bulk directory so that it doesn't slow down the passive file sync. Instead, what you could do is just straight upload it through a different command. And we do this for other bulky packages, namely here, node modules. Node modules are massive. We just installed some in our React website, but they will not be translated into the code box because it slows things down and we want things to run as fast as possible. So in fact, we could completely delete these local node modules because it doesn't matter. We're going to be running remote. All we need is the source code for our specific project. So that's gone. Go over here and you see that we did indeed get rid of the node modules. So that's no longer local and that's great. Do boost list. I run boost reset because file sync kind of had an issue. And then we'll restart everything with boost activate to fire file sync back up. So now it's syncing our entire package. I go into tutorial. I go into React website. And there's everything we need with the boost or the node modules ignored due to the boost ignore. So we need to make sure we make a point to install those modules on the server side here in the code box. So I could do, if I wanted, npm install through the activate SSH wrapper and run it. And this will take a short bit, so I'll fast forward. Cool, so the npm install is done running in the code box. Again, we're still in the remote context. And you can see here are the node modules and a package lock that were produced server side. But we don't necessarily need to even activate in order to do that. Say we make a change to our package.json here, make some change, come back over here, change is synchronized. I could just run boost npm install, and it pipes the same npm install. It acts on the packages.json file that just synchronized, and it makes it so I never really have to jump back in to the activate command. It just happens through the boost one-liner. So back locally, I could run the command boost npm start. So I'm taking npm start, I'm lobbing it up into the code box, and I'm running it there. The node modules are there, they're ready to go because we've updated package.json and reran npm install. So everything is set up and good to go on the code box. So boost npm start. So here we go, it's starting up the React server. And there we go, it's live. I can make edits to this line here. It said hotspot previously from boost React. I'm going to save it, go back over, and changes have propagated. In fact, before we even saw it, let's see it in action. So within a second, the file sync takes our code, pushes it through to the code box, and then CodeBox inserts it into the React app, gets it running live, and essentially makes it so we have instant deployment for our React apps. Now, to be fair, it's not auto-scaling. It doesn't have a fancy DNS to give you a nice domain name, but this URL is live, allows people to play with your app, give you initial feedback, run some tests, and ultimately allow you to get your code production ready as fast as possible. With this, this is the end of tutorial number 3. Thank you for your time and hope to see you in the next one.